What is it that we actually can control? In this world where everything changes constantly, the external environment, the people we have around us, the places we go to, everything changes, not only externally, even internally. Our minds, they keep making predictions and judgments of people and situations, and even though we can influence those, and we can choose to make certain decisions, that they can influence and shape, manifest a certain outcome. Still, we cannot control and prevent our minds from constantly judging everything. And as we are humans, and one of our core needs is the need to certainty, we want to know. We want to know what we can actually control. We want to be certain about it. And so we search for it in the external world, or we try to force us and fight our minds into thinking only certain thoughts. And even though we might have a lot of influence, actually, we'll be disappointed. Because what I've truly found out personally that we have complete control over is not what our minds think and evaluate, it's not what happens outside, but rather it's whether we choose to give power to our thoughts. Exactly. How many times it happens to you that you get a negative thought, or you go and start fearing the future without wanting it, over all these disastrous movies in your mind where you live the worst scenarios possible. You may feel anxiety, you may feel happy from nowhere. A lot of times you cannot control when and what thoughts come up, no matter how hard you try. But instead, you can always choose, no matter what situation you are, no matter what thought you're experiencing, no matter who you are, you can always choose whether you give power and attention to whatever manifests in your consciousness. So I know this might sound confusing, but let me give you an example. I've been having a lot of anxiety recently, paranoias floating in my mind, a lot. And I've tried, and I really tried to switch them and to a more positive direction by bringing more positive thought on the already negative thought. And even though it has an influence on my general thinking, still I get these paranoias. Still I get anxious. But my freedom and my control of whether choosing to give attention to this anxiety never fades away. For example, today I had an exam, silly thing. I had an exam, my mind starts going all over the places. And I choose to let it go. To let it go to all the possible failures and negative marks it could imagine. I choose to let it go and not interact with these thoughts. And they can remain there or go away as they wish. But they don't have my power. They don't have my attention. And when that happens, I find freedom. I find happiness, peace. So I know this might be very strange and esoterical, but try it out. Try to see if you come to my same conclusion. Maybe from your own experience, you've understood that actually the external world is something you don't really control. And even internally, a lot of thoughts come up from nowhere and goes who knows where. So try to see if that ability to actually let go thoughts freely and not interact with them is present with you. and is always accessible to you. For the next days or the next hour or the next minute, if you get a thought you don't like, a negative one, a sad one, or a happy one, whatever it is, just try to see if you can choose to not interact with it. Let it be, let it stay, or let it go. Just observe it. Maybe I'm crazy, but you might find that there lies the sole thing we can actually control. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to express this crazy idea, but really try it out. It is what I've been experiencing from hours and hours of meditation. I'm still a kid, and I'm still learning, and I'm still augmenting this skill. But really, I've seen that no matter how hard I try, I cannot control my mind, cannot manipulate the external world as I would like to. By contrast, I see that I can always, if I focus enough, choose whether what goes through my mind gets power and manifests into my life. Thank you for listening. I wish you a nice day, and stay here because on Monday we're gonna have a guest on the podcast. Still a bit late. I don't know who's gonna be. Have 2 days to figure that out. But if you have any idea of how could improve any aspect of this podcast, let me know. If you have any idea of who I might interview, who we might interview, please contact me on the Instagram page, Mindful Souls Podcast. I wish you a nice weekend. I wish you a mindful journey. Thank you.